we're going to carry back on with the mansion-y looking building, which is obviously just down here. And we're going to do a bit more to it today. So we actually did get a little bit more done to it today. We actually got the garage put in. It's a nice looking garage to say that it's, going on a mansion styled building. So probably behind this garage, because of where the house and the garden is, I'm probably going to do some form of like big garden, like where they would kind of have like a hot tub, a swimming pool. Maybe what I might even do is maybe even have like an outdoor party facility area in the backyard, so when it's like summer they can hire a DJ, do a bit of music and have like a pool party and stuff like that, which will be good. As well as obviously in winter, I'm going to put the indoor music facility over in this area here, which should be, um, in my opinion, should look pretty cool. And then I might just do a little something like a games room at this side, depending exactly how I feel and shiz like that. But I do definitely want to go ahead and do some form of music facility at some point. So we've got the entrance here. It's obviously a decent size house for it obviously being a mansion, which is, what you want. There's like two big bay windows. So there'll be big enough space in here to have some cool facilities as well. We'll just have to sort of see exactly, what I feel like sort of putting in. I might even do something like a tennis court at this side, just somewhere for them to play tennis. And then I might do like a music facility place, like an indoor party place with a bar and all of that stuff at that side. See exactly what goes down in Chinatown there. So what I'm going to carry on doing in just a sec when I just stand up, because I know I'm going to get cramp in my foot. I get that quite a bit for some reason. Is I'm going to get a coloured path block and I'm going to take it from the door, because I want to start making this look more, not just, that I want to start making it look a bit more nicer. I might do something in here, not decided yet. I'm actually kind of half tempted to change like all of this and fill it in with something nice. So we'll just have to see exactly what goes down. But for the path block, I think what I'm going to use. What can we use? We use like a concrete maybe. About like brown concrete. We'll take this. We'll take it up to the pathway. And then we'll get something like, I don't know, let's say like red concrete. And kind of take it like either side of the brown concrete. So I've had a pretty alright day today. It's been a little bit stressful. Nothing too mental though. I mean, not being funny, but if you live in this house, every day is a stressful day, really. But
every day is shuffling.
But it's been an alright day for me, really, technically. Been quite good. I've still not managed to get my surround sound working, which is a shame because I've been watching videos about my surround sound, and the videos I watched is people playing music through it, and it's really, really good quality music, but for some reason it doesn't seem to want to work in my telly for some reason. Like I've got all the connections for it, like the red and white, the back of my telly, plugged them in, and then nothing happens. I get no sound coming through it. The sound just still comes through the TV like normal. But when I changed from my big telly to this telly, my soundbar didn't work either for some reason. So like I couldn't get the TV sound to go through. So I think it's something related with that. As in, I actually think the TV must not work with speakers and soundbars. I think like there must be a fault with the TV, what just for some reason doesn't work. Because like I say, I had the same thing. I had the same thing when I, tried to connect my soundbar back up when I first got this TV, and then I could only use the Bluetooth side of the soundbar, which was, I liked having it plugged in for my games and stuff like that, which unfortunately, you know, was a little bit of a bummer. So I think it could be related to that, but I'm just not entirely sure what to say. Hopefully I can get it working because I don't want to sell it because it was so good for the price. But at the same time, like, it's got so decent sound on it through what I've like seen in videos and stuff like that. Um, yeah, you know what? We don't want too many windows because obviously there's going to be a lot of disco and party lights going off in here. But I'm going to have like a little entrance bit first where you can kind of like leave a jacket type thing. So if the guests are doing a house party, then you can be like, oh, hang your jacket up type thing. And then we'll have what's called like a normal entrance into the actual, into the actual like, you know,
Duffield did.
into the actual like music place itself. And we should be good to go, in that sense. I'm also doing a big double door, but I'm gonna do the door a bit different. Gonna put some glass.
It wasn't here.
Is this? I tell you what, I'll do this. We'll take that round like that, look. Yeah, that looks so much better. And then we'll get a nice, I think this door will do.
As soon as you come downstairs, Kennedy, stop messing about.
There we go. Take this down here. We'll have the same path as well. And then between the buildings, like all around here, I'm just going to have some nice, striped grass type thing. I'll go and show you an example of some where we've got some going just recently. Yeah, just here, look, see, like on this house here, see how that, see how that works out, and it should work out pretty cool in my opinion. We'll have to see exactly, what goes down in Chinatown. So you guys, might be wondering what's next for clubbing year. Nothing for a while.
Bleach.
So there was actually supposed to be 2 events coming up this weekend, where we could have picked and choose which one we wanted to go to. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to miss them both because I go on a holiday next week. One of them, well, they were both pretty good events, but at the same time, they weren't really like mega massive if you missed them at the same time. I suppose one of them was more massive than the other, but like it's still not like, if I'd have been missing, if it was something like what we just went to and I had to miss it, for example, I'd have been a lot more, a lot more peed off. But it's not that big of a deal missing what we're missing, if that makes sense. It's not that much of a deal missing what we're missing. So, basically we're missing Eat Your Words with Rob Tissera. He's coming to the function at Hull. But the day after was also the 16th or 18th birthday for the Jack Rabbits nightclub, you know, where we went to see Angie Brown live, which was a little bit of a shame. Um, you know, they're both a bit disappointing to miss, but nothing too nothing too major. Which is, you know, which is like I say, you know, just one of them little things what happen, but it's nothing too, it's nothing too mega. And the next thing which is coming up, I believe, is Sunday school. So Sunday school is at a place called Bongo Bongo, and they're doing like 90s raving, technically like happy hardcore, 90s drum and bass, MCs MCing over it, type thing, you know, and it's just like a little afternoon party thing, which is going on like sometime in like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. So I'm hoping to attend that, which is good. And then when you actually really think about it, it's only then really a couple of weeks until the Retro Beach Festival, which is up in Redcar. So we haven't really got long until that. So
That's all right, Kelly.
I don't really see us doing much else until that. Like I say, apart from this little Sunday school thing, because like I say, I really want to attend this, you know, this like beach festival, and this beach festival is only really going to be like, I'd say like 10 weeks away at the most, which isn't long. There's 4 weeks in a month. We're like, what now? Nearly at July. So basically, I would quite easily. No, when you think about it, we actually might even end up being like more like 6 weeks away. Yeah, we'll be 6 weeks away, not 10
That's
weeks.
September.
Yeah, we're 6 weeks away. Yeah, we are six.
August.
Yeah, we are 6 weeks
Second week
away.
into August.
You know. Yeah, 6 weeks away because if you think about it, there's 4 weeks in a month. In about 2 weeks' time, it's going to be round the sort of like 12th of July, and then you'd only have 4 weeks until obviously the 12th of August, which would be a month from there. So, like I say, I don't really see us doing much from then. Like the thing what you guys have got to think about with clubbing year is I don't want to take you like on every single little night out just for the sake of making an addition to clubbing year, if that makes sense. Like if I was being that stupid, I would have just taken the camera out with me at the weekend and took videos of myself in a pub, which is not like, you know, just because we, you know, like what I'm saying is I only like to do an addition to the clubbing year if we're doing something decent, if we're actually going to somewhere to see like if we're going to a proper event basically, not just going for a night out into a few local nightclubs. Like for example, when we went to Jack Rabbits, we went because we were obviously seeing Angie Brown live. We weren't just going there for the fun of it, for a normal everyday little mini night out. We were going because there was something, you know, actually like, you know, some like big famous person going, if you know what I mean. And that's the same obviously with like everything at Brid, because they've had events on, not just because they were doing a normal night. So obviously like I don't see the point in making loads of like little clips, because obviously like up and now and before we go to the beach festival, I'll probably be going out in town quite a lot, you know, meeting mates and stuff like that. Hi. And
Aye.
you know, stuff like that. But obviously, you know, in terms of like big stuff like that, you know, we just gotta wait. Like sometimes you've got to wait a month or so. So yes, there isn't anything happening for clubbing year till that Sunday school that I know of, and that Sunday school is only literally about 3 weeks away, maybe even 2 weeks away. It's on something. It's on something like the 16th of July, which we're now like. It's the 1st of July this Saturday. So I'd probably say this. I'd probably say it's going to be 2 weeks this Sunday till that.
It's all about you.
and as far as I know, it's like a cheap entry, but it's gonna be good. So it's gonna, like I say, it's gonna be. We're going back to a kind of hardcore
What?
event, guys. If you get me, we're going
What
back.
did he say?
We're going back to a hardcore event.
What did he say?
Now we
Sorry,
haven't
didn't
done a
saw.
hardcore event for actually quite a while. Um, Last one we did was Specialty and Club Filler. Now, um,
What is it? He thinks it's more about you.
Now, I do still like my hardcore music, don't get me wrong, hence why I'm going to the event. As a matter of fact, I love a hardcore rave, but, like, the thing what's overcome me is the atmosphere of going to a retro night. And that's why I'm kind of picking these more old school nights
I didn't quite get what you said because you said it that fast.
because there's so much more atmosphere. Like I say, when I went up to Yarm, like, you know, obviously the atmosphere, like, it wasn't just about the music. Like, you could just feel the love that everybody had for that type of music. Like, it wasn't just something, you know, to get into and have a little dance. You could tell that people loved it and had worshipped that style of music for years, and obviously worshipped Paul Taylor, who had done it. And you know, you could just tell that there was, you know, you could just tell that there was a love for the DJ. Like, he wasn't just a guy on the stage mixing a good tune. You could tell there was an actual passion
So what
and
do you mean
love
by that?
for the two DJs
So what do you mean by
themselves.
that?
And you could tell that, like, everybody just had so much, like, faith and belief in Paul Taylor and them, that it just made the night so much more better. So that's why I've kind of been not so much deciding to go to hardcore raves as much, but we are going to go back to hardcore raves as well, guys, don't worry. I actually have a mate. Well, I've known him for quite a while, but he comes out in drift. He's only, like, literally just turned, like, 18. Like, he's not been able to go out in the pubs long, but he's into the hardcore raves. And I'm probably gonna, like, arrange to go somewhere with him sometime. He wanted me to come to a hardcore rave literally when we're going to the beach festival. It's got, like, you know, this rave's got, like, Scott Brown and Darren Styles and all them, which, you know, would have loved to have done it, but, you know, just the thought of seeing K-Class and all them, and, like, you know, Alison Limerick, who did Where Love Lives and stuff like that, live on a beach with, like, you know, music, obviously, rides and, you know, food stalls and stuff like that, just seemed more, you know, interesting to do. But, you know, the thing with hardcore raves is there's hardcore raves happening all the time. Like, there's literally hardcore raves somewhere every single weekend. So there's bound to be another one coming up. Whereas something like the Retro Beach Festival is just like a 1 year thing. Like, once you miss it, there's not going to be, like, another one in a couple of weeks or another one in a couple of months. That's it for a year. Yo, Martin, what
Yeah,
is
nothing to
happening?
join here.
So, you know, that's why I kind of picked that one. Plus, it'll be quite cool to, like, film the first festival
Please
of
put my
Clubbing Year.
messenger.
But
Just told
Clubbing Year
this.
is actually nearly coming to an end when you think about it. Now, you
It's
guys
off my
might be
laptop.
thinking, that's crazy, it's only June at the moment. But we've got one event coming up in July, which is, like I say, that Sunday school, which is a hardcore raving event, outdoors. Then we've got the beach festival, and that's
Can't go into
August.
my
So
message.
after August, you get
So the truth
September and
is,
October,
done it.
and you're obviously starting with the dark nights again. The weather's coming colder again. And, you know, like I say, sometimes you don't always go to an event. Like, sometimes you go to one event, then it might be a month before the next one. So, you know, like, we're literally coming close to the end of Clubbing Year when you think. There won't be that many more events that we will be going to. You know, maybe another
You're
three
right.
or four, and that's going to be about it. Now, now you guys might be thinking, am I going to do anything for New Year's Eve with Clubbing Year? Now, New Year's Eve for Clubbing Year would be an absolutely amazing idea, but um,
Talk to
but
him, say Ant sent you a message as well, you know.
but the thing about that is is it wouldn't technically work with clubbing year. Now, what I exactly mean by that is clubbing year is supposed to end in 2017 and restart in 2018. So what I'm saying by that is if I went to a New Year's rave, when I would be uploading the New Year's rave, it would be in 2018 because if for example, if I was at the venue filming the countdown to 2018, I'm obviously not going to upload it in 2017, if you get what I mean. If you get where I'm coming from, like, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't work. Like, technically, we'd still be uploading this year's next year for like a couple of days, if you know what I mean. Which technically we should be then starting next year's clubbing year, if that technically makes sense. So what I think I'm gonna do is try and get to an event before New Year, and do something decent in style to end, to obviously end clubbing year, if that makes sense. But you guys will be wondering if clubbing year will be starting again next year, and of course it will. I'm gonna be doing a season 2 next year. Obviously, got to do something like that. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, my clubbing days have only just begun. I've got like another 20 years of going to raves before I probably think about settling down. Now, knowing me, I'm gonna be one of these like 62-year-old people what still try and make it to parties. You know what I mean? Because believe it or not, there's actually people what do that like today. Like, you go to these places and there's like quite an oldish man who still goes, and he like, you get talking to him for whatever reason, and he's like, "Are you still going at this age?" And he's like, "Oh, I couldn't stop going. It's too much fun." So I'd probably end up
Well,
being
that's
the
just
same
rude,
as
isn't it?
him, but more to it. My point is, we've still got a lot of years left to film and go, so why not? There'll be a 2018, there'll probably be a 2019, and I hope there is. That's all I can really say. I hope there's a 2020 and a 2021, but here we go. I can't. But yeah, I hope there is. I hope there's many more to come. Anyway, this is the little party function bit built. We don't need a massive blockage, but we just need a little bit. Somewhere, like I say, to hang your coats and stuff. And then the rest of this will be based on the venue for when whoever's living in this mansion would obviously be owning, hosting parties. If that makes sense. So what I'm going to actually go ahead and do now is put the perimeter of the wall up. So I'm going to mark out exactly how big we want this mansion to be. Now I'm going to put a tennis court at that side. So I'm going to come from this side and I'm going to mark out this side. Now what I'm going to do
Oh, yes, you have had a message from him.
is, lad,
So yes, you have had a message from him.
I
Because he
watched
sent it you
some
hours
old
ago.
PD vids today. Yeah, you commented on one of them. I was gonna reply, like, but I was in a place with no
It's just
with no like service for my phone. So like I must have like had a bit of signal, and then your notification came through, and then literally like when I checked the time on my phone and saw that it had come through, my signal had gone again, so I couldn't reply to you. But yeah, watching old PD vids today. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I actually do that sometimes. Not gonna lie, I actually do sometimes watch old PD vids, just for the fun of it. I haven't done for a while, but quite a bit ago, I can't remember when. Um, I did actually watch like some of the old ones. It's so different to now. Like, like, for example, like, Steve Woods was actually Stephen Smith. And I'm pretty sure, like, throughout the whole entire Park Drive, the original first postman has had like 4 different names. Like, I'm pretty sure at one point he was called Derek as well. And then I'm sure at another
No.
point he was called something else. Even Mary's voice had changed from the first episode to like say the voice I was doing for Mary like just before she died, which was like Park Drive is good, like some of the old ones, but there's definitely a few mistakes which I've made during making the Park Drive series, if you know what I mean.
Doing like yesterday. Oh shit! I forgot to press record.
No, not that. I'm talking like things we could have done more realistically. Like what I'm saying is when Steve Wood set the fire to Noreen's house, like for like practically like let's say like almost a good 30 episodes after the fire, there was hardly any like police interviewing people from the fire, you know, like asking questions. Like the police didn't even try to find out who it was. Like literally all what happened is Noreen moved into Martin's house, the cafe got rebuilt, and then Martin got his revenge on Steve. But like what I'm saying now, um, lol. But what I'm saying now is like looking back, like if you think of a real fire, there'd have been like detectives and like inspectors, like asking questions to people who would have seen the fire, people who would have, you know, people who might have like known how this fire could have started, or for example like Noreen never got interviewed or anything. You know what I mean? Like there's just a few things like that where like stuff like that could have happened. And then there's sometimes where we mention something and then like we don't do it for ages, which is technically my fault. Like Noreen being pregnant, like we mentioned she was pregnant, then I forgot about it, and then like ages later she finally took the pregnancy test, and then after that like it just like we never mentioned anything about it again. So like sometimes there is times in Park Drive where I could have done things better, but the thing about Park Drive is, and the thing about why I don't technically want it to stop, is because we can improve, if you get what I mean. Like I get this question a lot, like is Park Drive gonna take a break after episode 100? And no, Park Drive is not gonna take a break after episode 100. The way I see it, if people are asking me if like other actors, like people like Harrison saying, you know, Park Drive should take a break at episode 100 and then start a new season, then that just clearly makes me think that they're bored of Park Drive, and that's why they want the show to take a break. But if they're bored of Park Drive, they can take a break from Park Drive or leave Park Drive. Just because they're getting bored of it doesn't mean I'm going to take a break from it and then start it up again when they feel like they want to do it again. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, Park Drive isn't going to end, like, I don't know, like, for example, like, I hope in like a couple of years time I'm sat here now doing a stream saying, you know, we've got episode 300 coming up or something like that, and we've like, and Park Drive's improved so much. Like yeah, fair enough. Like if it got to the point where I had no actors, or I didn't have a PlayStation for any particular reason, or you know what, something might have happened, then obviously Park Drive would stop. But if I'm just sat here on a night like I am now, I don't see why Park Drive should stop. And I don't want it to stop because it gives me, to be honest with you, I'll admit to you, it gives me something to do and gives me something to focus on. Like MCing, I can focus on that, but you can't really do an MC every single day, if you know what I mean. Whereas like Park Drive, every other day you can get a new episode out, something can happen, you know what I mean. Imagine if PD took off and and we were and you were paying it. That's like, that would be sick. Like I'm not being harsh, but it might sound a bit stupid, but that's actually not impossible, you know. Like, I don't know exactly about me paying you, but I'm talking like part drive taking off. I mean, for example, look at Dan TDM, who did his like adventure series. That took off, and then he went to like Minecon and stuff like that, and he did like an episode live, if you get
There you
what I
go.
mean. He went there and did an episode live. So imagine if we went to somewhere like Minecon and all
Oh,
of us sat
man.
at like separate PCs. There was a big screen, and then it was like us recording a part drive episode. Like what I'm saying is it's not it's probably not going to happen, but at the same time, PD taking off is not impossible, if that makes sense. Like, oh wow, I said it again. But no, Emmerdale, for example, was only like, oh, for God's sake, I'm just. Emmerdale, for example, was only supposed to be on air for not long. It was only like scheduled to be on air like as a little kind of like season thing, and then that still ended up being on TV today with massive storylines across the nation. If you get what I mean. Yeah, but it would be unfair if you get oh, obviously if I got money and paid for YouTube and part drive, I would obviously like split it with you guys. Clearly, I'm not that nasty. Yo, come on. I'm not that nasty. Like, I'd split it with you guys, obviously. The only thing is though, the only thing is people like Steve and Ant would get more money because they're like managers and
Give me that,
co-managers.
Liam.
But no, I would, like, depending on how much wage I got, I would split that with you guys, obviously.
Then you would be greedy bastard.
I would, that's the thing. I want I won't allow free money. Well, you would have to have free money, Amir, because if I was
I mean, I didn't get fuck all anyway because of shit.
if I was doing part drive, I would literally. If we were all like, if my like YouTube took off, which it probably wouldn't, or for example, if for whatever reason like, oh, it's okay, come on, um, you know, but like, just if Park Drive took off in any way, like somebody saw our show and said, look, would you run our show on, would you run our show on our channel type thing? So like, for example, if say like a normal TV program or something, like a kids channel or something. Well, I wouldn't say kids channel, but you know, like a bit like what South Park's aired on. Um, if they said like, would you be willing to, to let us play your Park Drive episodes on our channel, and we'll pay you, an amount for it, which would obviously be quite good. No offence, but I'm surely higher up in the ranks than Harris. Yeah, obviously, of course you are.
Who is?
Martin,
Oh, yeah.
of course you are. Well, to be honest, I'ma say this now, like, second, like, to be honest, I couldn't choose I couldn't choose out of all of you really who's the best. I'm
Just
not that
who's?
I'm not that type of person to like, you know what I mean?
Right, that's the job. Right, what else is doing?
You
Got
know,
forget got from the Jeep, £2.50.
I'm not the type of person to like exactly pick people. Like it's hard to explain. I like to treat everybody at Park Drive here all equal as such. It's just I
Oh,
gave obviously Steve and Ant the job of being like the co-managers because you know they've helped out a lot, and I'm not just talking with like Park Drive, but I'm talking with like the map construction and you know.
so I haven't done anything wrong. So what have I done? Nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously. Watch. Yeah, okay, I might give it a look. RT, you might like it, and that not not where you're from, Drift.
Tell him straight
Yeah, I
face.
know.
See what have I done wrong?
Bye, bro. Who? Oh, you're not talking to me, are you, Ant?
Now please, Kelly.
Oh. Me and you were in the very first episode of PD about plumbing. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna actually tell you a truth here, Martin. I was actually thinking of starting off Park Drive with a funeral, but the thing is we only had like a couple of people at the time, and I kind of thought it'd be copying Emmerdale because they started with a funeral, but when the CD coming out and is it for sale? No, no, it's not for sale. It's the CD. Literally, all I'm doing is making a summer CD, which is literally all I'm doing is like I say, making summer tracks, putting them onto a CD, like a blank disc with a nice summer case, and then I'm just doing it as a giveaway on my Facebook page, like because you know it's like something to do, if you get me. I just thought it would be a bit more of a cool way to interact with likers on the page. Just to do a giveaway and let someone have it who wins. But do a bit of a build up to it to make it quite interesting. Like the CD's obviously gonna have like proper, hopefully good MCs on it. Like I'm not just gonna rip someone off and, but you know it's still gonna be just for a bit of fun. Because obviously like I can't physically sell an album because I don't want to get like done for copyright. Like I'm just making it for a bit of fun, and then just like giving it away to a liker of the page to just simply, you know, listen to it. Plus it'll be quite fun to make as well. So who's telling you this stuff, Stephen Smith? No, it's, what is it? It's, get here, you little rascal. Oh yeah, and who's been telling you that? Stephen Smith. Hey Martin, I can remember the first ever thing what was said on the first episode of Park Drive in the first scene. Yo Martin. That's literally the first thing what was ever said in PD. Yo Martin. It was something like, yo Martin, yo. And then I said something like, did you get your sink fixed? And then I said something about the plumber being in the pub at the weekend and he was spreading some stuff about how he's got more important jobs to do and he's been telling you need a new sink. I also can remember the last thing what was said in the first episode of PD. Ooh, Shadow baby, you're cleaning the car. And then he didn't have his mic on, but he was meant to say something like, yeah. And then I said something like, it nearly looks as sexy as you. Anyway, I'm going in to put the dinner on. Don't be out there too long, baby. I'm a woman with needs. And then all the credits came on at the end. And you lot in the party, whoever was in the party at the time, just pissed yourself with laughter. And then I didn't get over it for days. And tried to say it in every other single Park Drive episode for ages. And that was literally... You know? Well, that's the grounds of the things set up. Just a bit to do here, what's been missed. Oh, Shadow baby. I scratched it. Oh yeah. Oh, Shadow baby. I'm so sorry. I scratched the noble RS. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Oh wow. Mate, I miss them old days of PD. Oh wow. I remember when Noreen used to come into your house on like the beginning episodes of Park Drive and she used to be so bossy to you like I literally remember like when she used to like come into your house in scenes like you know like no like when you had your garage knocked down and she was like Martin love, what you been doing at that garage? You only had it built a year ago. She used to be so like telling you like when you're doing things wrong and you aren't washing up properly and stuff like that. And same when you bought a Noble RS yourself, like you're going out buying cars instead of you should be thinking about your kids. And then you were like, but mum, it's a well-paid job. Look, if I want to treat myself to a car, then I will. And then you and Noreen had that like big argument for so long around Billy's birth. We'll have to remember that, you know. Like when Billy's birthday was last year to do it again this year. We also need to really do a Martin's birthday on this series as well. You know, so like you know what I mean? Because like Steve Woods hasn't had a birthday either yet. And I don't think Noreen has either. So no, the only people who's had a birthday in Park Drive that I'm aware of is Billy and Paul and Harrison. They're the only people who's had a birthday in Park Drive that I can remember. I'm pretty certain that's the way it is. My birthday will be the 19th. Yeah, but you see, the thing is, we didn't do your birthday last year in Park Drive, if that makes sense, on the 19th of November. So, with your character in Park Drive, we'd have to do it like earlier than that. Like, we'd have to do it like August or something. But we can do Jimmy's because he obviously weren't in it this time last year. Well, in September last year, if that makes sense. Or did we do Martin's birthday? No, I don't think we did do Martin's birthday in part. Right, we might have done. I'll have to have a look because, like, 19th of November would be like not long after Park Drive started. I'll check if PD is on my birthday. Because, like, what I'm saying is, if you didn't do it last year, like, then we can't do it this year. Like, but what I'm saying is, if we did do your birthday last year, like, on PD, because PD wouldn't have been going that long, because PD started in October, and I know, like, round episode 10 was Halloween, but it was Halloween in real, because I remember, like, that's why we did it. And then, like, obviously a couple of episodes after, well, the day after was Shirley's funeral. So, like, I know that sometime sort of between Shirley's funeral and Steve Woods had setting the house fire off would have been like a Martin's birthday type episode, if you get me. How about sometime round August? Yeah, August might be good. I go on a week's holiday. Oh yeah, guys, that's what I've got to remind you guys on the stream. There will be no park drives next week. Well, there'll be park drive on Sunday, and then there won't be another park drive till the following Sunday. Because basically, I'm going on a week's holiday to Wales, so I won't be uploading for the whole entire week. I might take a few videos on my camera while I'm there, and then just upload them when I get back. But there's gonna like probably be, I mean, to be fair, I might live stream on the channel. Like, say if I'm in like the entertainment bar on a night or something, I might just live stream a bit of the what's happening in there, and kind of, or I might just do a little live stream like in the caravan, like sometime, just to like ask you guys how you doing, that stuff. Hi, Playman. But other than that, there'll be no like park drives or music shows. Will Martin be older than Steve? Well, you said they were in the same year. That's kind of roughly what we've got to work out. We need to work out an actual age for them. So let's go over to the graveyard and look at the siblings, and then I'll tell you, like, because we need to work this out. Right, so we've got Shirley Woods, who was born in 1947, and we have Neil Woods, who was born in 1943. So Neil Woods is his dad. Shirley's obviously Steve's mum. So if we jump to, let's say, 1970, let's say we jump to 1977. Or no, let's say we jump to 1967. No, Shirley would obviously be 20 years old. So if we jump to 1977, Shirley would be 30 years old. And then that would kind of be the same for Neil as well. He'd be like in his 30s, but he'd be a bit older. So what I'm kind of thinking is, like, I was sort of thinking, what I'm going by is my nan was born in 1944. My dad was born in 1974. He's now just over 40. So what I'm saying is unless Shirley had Steve Woods when she was a lot older than 30, like let's say if Steve Woods was born in 1980, for example, that would mean that Shirley would be like 35 years old, and then Neil rather, would be more like close to being the age of 40. And then obviously Neil died in 2005 in the car crash, so he would have been getting quite old, you know. So I think if Steve Woods was born 1980, that would then, so 1980, so 1990 it'd be 10, 2000 it'd be 20, and then to 2017 it'd be like 27, wouldn't he? So I don't know really. So I say we estimate him to be round year 27, 27 to the 30ish age. Born 1980, 2000 he'd obviously be 20. Yeah, there'll be an episode of Jimmy's birthday. 37. 37's grand. 37's grand. I'll take 37. And then, to be fair, like, we could make it so, like, Martin, let's say, has his birthday before Steve, but they're still in the same year. So, you know, say if Martin was 37, Martin had changed to be 38, but Steve Woods would still stay 37 for like 2 more months, if you get what I mean. If that makes sense. So like Martin could be just older than Steve by a few months, but they're still in the same year. Rather than like having their birthdays, rather than being in like separate years, you know, rather than making like Martin in the year above. Nineteen eighteen, 1919. Yeah, sound. That's good. We can have them 37. That's good by me. So yeah, so Martin will be 38 this year, technically, along with Steve. So, well, Steve, you know, oh, well, you know what I mean. I say that Martin will be 38 without giving anything away. Can't promise for Steve that he'll be 38. Martin knows what I mean. But yeah, I'm grand with that. Anyway, we need a name for Steve Woods' brother. So, Here we go. Because obviously Steve Woods' dad and brother died in a car crash. But what I'm thinking is Jonathan Woods could have been Steve Woods' twin brother. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Martin. But yeah, I'm thinking of making Steve's brother being his twin brother. Or should we make him an older brother? All I've got to do is change the name. I mean, all I've got to do is, you know, as you should do an ep just as a flashback of how Noreen found Martin. Hey, that'd be a sick idea. We could do like a younger skin for Noreen, and then we could do Martin like that would be good if it worked. That'd be cool. But yeah, if you think there should be older brothers, an older brother, then just say, just say what you mean. Timmy Woods as well. That was Steve Woods' granddad. Yeah, I think a flashback episode would be good. I'd actually like that. That's gonna be Paul's grandma, by the way, Viv Johnson. Paul's obviously, quite older in Park Drive, so I'm thinking the reason why Paul came over here was to visit his grandma. Or maybe when he found out that his grandma had died, maybe he came for the funeral. But then maybe he decided to stay here, and that's how Paul ended up living a couple of doors down from you. If you get me. And we'll do his granddad next to her as well. If you get me. Gotta, put his granddad here as well. Yeah, Paul is like 50, so Paul is an old boy. So what shall his granddad be called? Oh, I've done Bobby Johnson. Richard Johnson wouldn't have been that bad, but I've done Bobby Johnson. Paul Sugar, I'd like you to meet your granddad, Bobby Johnson, the oldest addition to the Johnson family. So that would obviously be Derek's dad and mum. They lived over here, but Derek lived somewhere else with Paul's mum. I know who Paul's mum looks like. I've just never got anybody to play her. But this is Paul's real mum, meant to be the Marge skin. Derek's like 70. Yeah, Derek's like going up that way now. I'd say more like, 70, going on like 75 type thing. Because Paul's 50, so Derek's got to be another like 20 so many years older, if you get me. At least another 25 years older than Paul, obviously. But yeah, that's technically, that's how the Johnsons come about here. So what I reckon is, Bobby and Viv would have originally come from somewhere else. And then what I would have reckoned is they would have moved here. Derek would have more than likely stayed when he got older. Oh, sugar. It wouldn't make sense if Paul's mum has hair. Yeah, but Paul could have had it shaved off when he was older. And Paul does have hair. I'll show you. Paul does have hair, just a bit at the back. And Derek's got hair. It's just there isn't really anything else in the line of skins. For like, well, or I know who Paul's mum could be. Wait, let me find it. Now I'm trying to think where I've seen it. Here. True. I mean, this could be his mum. That could be his mum. Trying to think of that could be his mum. Trying to think of like old people. She is a new mate. I want to bring that skin in. I reckon this here should be Ethan's mum. I reckon that should be Ethan's mum. Alright, catch you in a bit. I'm going to leave the stream here anyway, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you in the next one.